Welcome to the Not Too Shabby podcast, where this show is about you. Join us in this journey to view different interests, perspectives, and lifestyles, which we want to accomplish through conversation that leads to joy and creating lifetime memories. We're your hosts, Sha and V, to remind you that you're not too shabby. Keep it classy.
All right, thank you, Destiny. Again, welcome back. And we're your hosts,
Yeah.
and V.
So, V, last episode was great. We'd had an entrepreneur in real estate and everything. It was really good. Yeah, it was Valentine's Day. So how did your Valentine's?
It was. So I hope everybody had a good Valentine's Day weekend. Spend it with your loved ones or your possible loved ones. Who knows? Make sure you guys got to visit Dr. Love. I don't know if he did some miracles out there. I'm kind of hoping for it. So, right?
Yeah, let's hope so. I definitely tried, but he didn't. It didn't work out for me.
So still zero success for the guy.
Still zero success.
Okay, all right, that works for me.
So V, how did your Valentine's Day go?
It was good. Valentine's Day is always like I feel like it's just a time where everybody gets to kind of spread the love and stuff like that, whether you have a significant other or not. Like mine was more, just because the fact COVID and all that stuff, mine was more spread at home, like with the family. So I feel like it still went well. What about you?
For me, I spent time with family, but most importantly, I spent time with my absolute love. It is food. So, like I told you, during this pandemic, I've been trying to lose a lot of weight. I've been trying to cut down on my calories, work out. But again, it's been tough.
That's awesome.
It's been tough because every other day seems like a cheat day, and Valentine's Day was just another way for me to have another cheat day. So I had to
totally understandable. I feel like my workouts are more cheat days, and then I got that one day where I'm like, I'm not cheating today.
Exactly. So it's just so hard for me. Exactly. So it's so hard for me to just not eat because I love food so much. And losing weight, and especially the blubber that I have around my waist, it's been tough because I love to snack and I love to just eat meat.
To be honest, right? Valentine's Day, like you said, is to spread love, and you said it yourself that your other love is technically food. So is mine, and you can't have love without love handles, right? Am I correct?
Exactly. Spreading the love in the wrong areas.
I think it all works out. So it's good. You know what? Actually, today's kind of cool. Because we are talking about like different things. Again, a different point of view, and our guest today is actually phenomenal. Amazing, and it's crazy because me and Shaw actually thank her every time we start this show. Am I correct?
Absolutely. So we would actually like to introduce you to Destiny Moody, who is actually a sports dietitian. So as I said, it's very hard for me to go on a diet. I think getting a perspective from a sports dietitian would be perfect. So let's bring on Destiny Moody.
Hey guys, how's everybody doing?
Good.
Hi,
good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
First of all, we would like to welcome you and thank you for being part of the show. And again, thank you for helping us out with. I think we have one of the best intros ever, just because of you.
Happy to do it.
Yeah. Besides being a sports dietitian, she's also a voice actor. So
amazing.
Yeah, she does the.
Thanks to Shaw. Yes.
She does the voice for our intro on our podcast, so that's wonderful.
And if I'm correct, I think she'd helped me out with one of my projects a while back, right, Shaw?
Yeah, she did the Black Lives Matter project as well.
Oh, that was yours.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, yes. That was amazing. That was great work.
I appreciate that.
So Destiny, first of all, I thank you for joining us today. And I just wanted to, start by tell me a little bit more about your life as a sports dietitian.
Oh gosh. Okay. That's a big question. So I am currently in 2 roles as a sports dietitian, which is kind of typical for someone at my age. So right now I am the football dietitian for the athletes at UC Berkeley. This was a very, very recent thing. I used to just be a dietitian that helped to oversee all 26 sports at Berkeley, but football needed more attention. And so that's me now. So when football is not in season, I consult and am the head of performance nutrition for the new NBA G League, which is basically a league for high school students that do not want to go to college before they go to the NBA. They're high school students that are good enough to qualify for the draft. And they sort of go into this league to help to transition them, because they're only like 18, 19 years old, into professional basketball. So it's very specialized. There's only like 10 guys in the league, but because they have me as a dietitian, an athletic trainer, and a strength and conditioning coach on staff, they get very, very specialized training before they go on and go from high school basketball to professional basketball. And it's been really great to see these kids grow. And I'm looking forward to seeing them play next year. So I would say that's the most rewarding part of my job, is I see these guys whenever they're little baby seeds, 18-year-olds to like 24-year-olds, depending on when they graduate college, to playing professional sports. Um, and it's really rewarding to see that you were a part of that. So my job's pretty cool.
That's awesome, and I feel like that's very important, just because, especially when you were in high school, or I mean, at least I remember when I was in high school or transitioning into college. I think it was probably the worst time of my life of how I was eating. Fast food. This is all I got. This is what I gotta get. I just gotta stuff something in my body. And I feel like a lot of what people don't understand is, like, yeah, you have strength and conditioning, you have practices, all that stuff, but a lot of the way your body recovers or perform also has to do with what you put inside your body, correct?
That's very true. That's why they have dietitians, because you can't just let them eat what they want. I remember it was very, very tough whenever I first started with the G League, because they're used to eating Chick-fil-A and, frozen burritos or whatever. And that like sort of got through, right? But the thing is, whenever you're young, you can eat crap like that and you can still
Mhm.
perform without really feeling the effects of it. But one, over time, after like all of that junk builds up in your system, the way I like to describe it to them is that you have a Toyota Camry and you have a Ferrari. Like, you as an athlete, a professional athlete, is a Ferrari. So you can put regular fuel in a Ferrari for a while and it'll run, but eventually it's going to start to break down. You need to put premium fuel in it in the beginning so that it's always running the way that it needs to, right? So that's how I try to describe it to them. Um, Especially when you're going from playing high school basketball to now you're on the same court as LeBron. You're not going to be able to match up against him if you're eating frozen burritos and Chick-fil-A every single day. And that was just something they would not get. But I've really gotten them to a place now where I don't see any more Chick-fil-A bags. They actually eat fruit for breakfast. And I really think a lot of it comes down to education, not just with athletes. A lot of times the reason that people think they can't eat healthier and lose weight is because they just don't have a lot of the right information. Um, and they sort of just are going off of whatever they learned in health class or whatever they saw on Instagram. So I think that education with the right information is really, really important for anyone that's looking to change the way that they eat.
Absolutely. Like I said, I've been trying to go on a diet for the longest time, and I kid you not, it hasn't worked. Um, but then again, it is my own fault. I'm a huge snacker. As a medical student, I have to study all the time, and I got to keep my mouth chewing because or else I'm going to fall asleep.
Fall asleep.
So, but Destiny, you bring up a pretty good point. You said you have to make little diets and all that sort of stuff for you said basketball and football. Have you seen a difference in the two sports that you have to like adjust to when it comes to their diet?
Yeah, so that was one thing that was really rewarding about being a dietitian for different sports when I was at Cal. Well, I'm still at Cal, but whenever I was overseeing all the sports, is that, a diet, I would be in a consult with a football player, and then right after that, I'd be in a consult with a gymnast. And the nutrition intervention is very, very different between those two sports, right? With a football player, we're trying to get as much food into them as possible. And with the gymnast, they have to maintain a very specific aesthetic and be really, really lean while still getting enough nutrition. So there's definitely a difference. In terms of football and basketball, I would say um, with football, you just need to get as much food into them as possible. Like, I'm not kidding. These guys are burning like 4,000 calories a day. And it's really difficult to get enough calories into them that's not coming from junk. And it's difficult to get that across to them, being like, hey, you need this many calories, but not that many, that type of calories.
Mhm.
you know so that's where education comes in. When it comes to basketball, normally they tend to eat enough, just because they tend to do a lot more a lot more cardio. There's a lot more running, whereas football is more like stop and go. They get a lot of rest in between. You don't really get that with basketball. You need to make sure they don't fatigue by the third quarter. So in that respect, in terms of the activity that they do, there's definitely a difference. It's just making sure that neither sport loses a ton of weight, because that's when you start to get into issues with fatigue and injury, especially with football. So yeah, there's definitely a difference across all sports. I would never approach both sports the same way.
Yeah, and I think that's crazy part too. Like you said, like it's hard to kind of control what to eat without it being junk. Because, I mean, I was actually I grew up in the Bay Area, and I know for a fact that just right outside Berkeley, there's a bunch of different restaurants. Correct?
Oh
Man,
yes, absolutely.
Zabe, you should go visit, dude. It's amazing. There's a
I
lot
mean,
of
you say food, I'm gonna visit.
yes. Oh,
V, have you ever been to Cinnaholic?
no, not yet, not yet. How is that?
You know what it is though, right?
No, please. What?
Well, let me tell you a story. I had this football player. I think that he plays for the Dolphins now. He's on their practice squad. But I had this football player that came to me one day and was like, "Destiny, you're gonna be so proud of me. I got Cinnaholic yesterday." And I was like, "Why would I be proud of you for that?" For those of you that don't know, Cinnaholic is basically like Subway for cinnamon rolls. You like choose what kind of cinnamon roll you want, and then you can choose the flavor of icing, and then you can choose the toppings. And they have like every topping you can imagine. They've got marshmallows, cinnamon toast crunch, they've got like gummy bears, like all sorts of stuff. Like it sounds like a fat kid's dream, right? But he came to me and he was like, "I got Cinnaholic, you're gonna be so proud of me." And I was like, "Why the heck would I be proud of you for that? Why are you even telling me this? You just told on yourself." And he was like, "Because it's vegan," which it is, because Cinnaholic is all vegan. Like the entire restaurant is vegan. That's the whole shtick, right? In Berkeley. And I was like, "Okay, it's vegan, so what?" And he's just like looking at me really confused. And he was like, "So I basically ate a salad." I was like,
That,
"Okay,
that
yes,
was a good thought.
thanks."
Good thought.
No, I
Actually,
appreciate your logic
he
there.
actually did get you there.
You're not
Because
wrong.
vegan has to be plant based.
I guess we know what we're gonna do, Shazay, for dessert once we actually go there, huh, Sha?
Absolutely, absolutely. I don't know what the definition of diet is anymore. Uh, is
Exactly.
it going vegan specifically to Cinnaholic?
Maybe. I mean, I did tell you my form of diet is called try it, so it's all good, right?
There you go. There you go. At least you tried.
Exactly.
That's why we need dietitians to help people navigate all of this, because
No,
he was
I actually agree.
he was serious.
Oh man,
Exactly.
I
Like
can
you
only
said, you
imagine.
have to inform them. It's the education part. Sure, it might be vegan, but is it still healthy for you? No. I mean, sugar is vegan as well. So, like, if you're eating all that sugar,
Oreos are
well,
vegan too, in case you guys didn't know that.
exactly. Oreos are vegan, and yeah, I tell you, I think one of those is like one cookie is 80 calories, I think, and you don't ever just eat one Oreo. You get like 5, 6 at a time,
That's true. Sometimes people
or
get
like
double
me, the
stuffed.
entire package. But we're
Right?
not talking about that.
You're just making my
100%.
tooth hurt. Just like thinking about it.
Especially if they're golden Oreos. Oh man, those are like diabetes on demand.
Oh my god, those are my favorite. Oh my god. We used to eat those in the island all the time. So
Yes, I remember.
I think one time we even stuffed one inside a cookie.
Yeah, so we put it inside a cookie dough and then we baked it, and so it was a cookie and a cookie. It was delicious.
I mean, to be honest with you, I can vouch I totally felt like crap the next day, but it was good. It was good for that time being.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, Destiny, you're a sports dietitian. Who's the most like? I guess who's have you met any popular people doing this or anything?
Oh yeah. I've met Derek Carr. He came to speak. He's the quarterback for the Raiders. He came to speak for a while to the guys about nutrition, which was really great because he said a lot of the same things that I say to the guys and they don't listen. And they were like, "Did you give him notes?" And I was like, "Nope, I just know what I'm talking about. Go figure." So I met Derek Carr. I've also met Antonio Brown. He came to campus and gave me a hug once, and then he asked for an apple, and I had to tell him no because it was the athlete's apple, and it was the scariest thing I'd ever done because I thought he was going to punch me. But just so you know, Antonio Brown is a very, 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 very sweet individual in person. He's also got a wonderful smile in person. regardless of what you think of him.
Hey, if you need help, we know a guy named Dr. Love. He'll slide into DMs.
True. See, we just all about putting people on. But yes, Antonio Brown, I feel like he's very misunderstood, but because he's very charismatic, in my opinion.
Yes. Oh my gosh, super sweet guy. So he came to the weight room and worked out with the guys, which was a good time. I've also met Steph Curry and his wife. Steph Curry owns the facility where our team currently trains. So he pops in and out sometimes. We were trying to get him and the Warriors to scrimmage with the guys once, and they wanted to, but COVID like sort of shut that down. So we were really bummed about that. But those are just some of the people I can think of off the top of my head. I've also met Amir Khan, the boxer. He came in and worked out once.
So, Destiny, speaking of like COVID and everything, how has COVID and the lockdown affected you as a sports dietitian, especially in California, with lockdown was very strict, and I know sports in general have been shut off for a long time. So, how has that affected you?
It's honestly, I would say this last year has been the most stressful year I've had in my entire life. I can confidently say that. It's so difficult to keep a sports program running and keep people safe. Especially when you're talking about with basketball, it's not too hard because it's like whatever. There's 5 guys are running around on the court, like it's not really that big of a deal. Also with the NBA, we have funding, so we have the luxury to be able to do daily tests. We all get tests daily in the morning. They have a really, really good quarantine protocol. I really have to give a shout out to the NBA with the way they're handling this COVID thing. I think they didn't have a single positive test during the last season when COVID first started because they have very good protocols in place to keep them playing safely. At Berkeley, it's a different story, especially when you're talking football, because I mean, you guys watch football. Every single drive, they're literally in each other's faces, like pushing off of each other, breathing on each other, spitting on each other. And you can't wear a mask while you're out there doing it. And it's just been super duper tough, especially when it comes to delivering food. If it was pre-COVID, we try to give the guys food like sort of buffet style. They go in and they serve themselves however much they want, based off of how many calories they need and everything else. But obviously we can't do that. So it's been a struggle to get food to the guys in a safe manner with them all being spaced out. Having the foods be packaged, but be packaged in something that is big enough for it to house a meal that's going to give a football player enough calories. And it's been really, really rough, especially with the positive cases that have gone on in the Pac-12. I don't know if you guys have been following it, but I think out of the 8 games that we had scheduled, we only played 3. And we finished our 3rd game, which we actually won, and we were on a high after that. We still had 2 left. This one got canceled because the opposing team had positive tests. And so then the commissioner of the Pac-12 was like, just shut down the entire season. And it was rough. It sucked really badly, especially for our seniors who, senior year is their time they get to show what they can do for the NFL. And they only got to play 3 games, and they weren't playing at their best because they weren't getting enough food because of COVID. They weren't able to train the way that they were because of COVID, because, a lot of other schools opened up before ours in other regions like Arizona, and they got to train. They got like a month head start on training, and now we're competing against them. So the entire season was just a huge mess. I felt really bad for the guys, and it's been pretty rough over here. I just sort of wish that we didn't have a season just so we could keep everybody safe and we didn't have to go through all of that heartbreak for the play.
And that's true. That's why I'm kind of interested on to see on how the actual NFL draft is going to go this year, just because like seasons are kind of like cut short or seasons were canceled, just in general. And then because unlike the NBA, the NBA only has like 2 rounds, right? Where
Yeah.
the NFL has multiple rounds of like. So I'm kind of interested to see on how people are going to basically pick their players based on what they've seen this past season. So it's kind of
Yeah, are they going to have an NFL combine? Like,
exactly
all those questions come in play. Are they going to allow it, all these different people to come in? So how are they going to do their protocols? So it's crazy to think about.
Yeah, for sure. But hopefully we're around in the corner.
Absolutely. So Destiny, another question here. Sorry.
Yeah,
So
of course.
tell me, who's your favorite player in any sports team? Like, first of all, tell me your favorite sport, and then tell me your favorite team, and then tell me your favorite player.
Okay, this is a complicated question. I would say, oh God. All right, so my favorite sport is basketball, but football recently, since I started working with them, has sort of edged basketball out a little bit. But I think that basketball will always have a special place in my heart because I grew up watching it. My dad loved Michael Jordan. I had a little baby Bulls jersey whenever I was a kid. So I'm always going to love basketball like above all else. But recently, I've been watching a lot more football than I have basketball. Um, and my favorite player is Patrick Mahomes.
Much respect. Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, he did crazy things. Sure, he had some struggles, but the guy was throwing like crazy, falling down on the ground, still getting it on the mark. So
He definitely had the fight in him, so that's the best
absolutely,
part.
the guy's got fight
Till the end. So that's all that matters to even put up a show like that.
I mean, for being as young as he is, and for him performing at that level, I'm just excited to see how far he goes. And the thing is, I don't gauge my favorite players off of like their stats or like how well they play. I also gauge like what sort of person they are and like what they stand for.
Mm-hmm.
And for all of his performance and all of how really great of a player he is for how young he is and little experience he has, he's very humble, which is, trust me, something that's very rare amongst athletes, I can tell you. A very humble, good kid, does a lot in his community. I mean, there's nothing that you can say bad about Patrick Mahomes. He's just a great guy. That's why he's my favorite.
Awesome. You guys have it. See, like, hey,
now,
right? For any of our viewers, if you guys ever make it to the league, make sure you stay humble, right? Because it does get acknowledged by other people. Just because you do make it out there, sometimes remember, always look back where you came from. Stay humble.
And if you're in college, it impacts your NFL draft.
Oh, even better. See,
whenever the scouts come in, they'll ask the coach what your attitude is like. And if the coach tells you that you're super cocky and all of that, guess what? You'll end up on the practice squad. I've seen it happen. It doesn't matter how well you play.
Hey, there's some inside advice from here.
Awesome.
So, putting sports aside, bringing your profession back into play, I think our audience really wants to know, is a cheat day recommended by you? And also, I want to know personally, what's your cheat day meal? Like, what is like, yeah, I can finally eat this.
Absolutely, a cheat day is it's recommended by me. Actually, it's just because you have to live your life no matter what your goals are. You have to live your life. You don't want to spend months to years dieting, turning down plans with friends because you can't track that meal or you think that it's going to be bad for you. You still have to live your life, and if you feel like you can't, it's going to be a lot harder for you to maintain whatever diet it is that you're on, because you're just going to hate the diet, you're going to hate yourself, you're going to hate your life. The way that I define healthy eating, there's two components to it. There's your diet is healthy, but also you have a healthy relationship with food. I don't like it when people eat their food at their desk without taking their lunch breaks, or when, they're eating some sort of diet food and they're hating it, but they feel like they have to do it. You really need to have a good relationship with your food for your mental health.
My food on a date. So
I talk to mine sometimes.
Well, see, there you go. You guys already got a half of it. And I mean, cheat meals, what, a lot of dietitians will tell you 80-20 rule. 80% of the time, eat healthily. Other 20%, indulge yourself with whatever it is that you like to eat. My favorite cheat meal is Buffalo Wild Wings.
Now you got to tell me your favorite flavors.
Actually, I might go after this now.
Buffalo Wild Wings with ranch and cheese curds with that Chipotle ranch. Oh my God, it's amazing. Every Thursday, whenever they have 50% off, I'm there. That's my cheat meal, 100%. Sometimes on the weekends, I'll DoorDash in Taco Bell or Mod Pizza, but my go-to is always Buffalo Wild Wings. And I always get, always, because I'm a creature of habit, I always get mango habanero, teriyaki, and the Asian zing.
She knows food well.
Amazing.
She
I'm so
knows
happy.
food.
When she said mango habanero, okay, I was like, huh, she likes the spicy food. Perfect.
Spicy, yeah.
That is
Love it
awesome.
spicy.
I mean, if whoever's watching, if you guys know, at least now you guys know that Destiny might be at the closest Buffalo Wild Wings near you on Thursdays. All right.
Coming
So
to
that's-
Buffalo Wild Wings near you.
Speaking of spicy, Vaughn and I love to eat spicy here.
Mhm.
And to the point where, I would say we would like our buttholes to bleed. However, on that note, is it normal or healthy for me to be eating that much spice every day for every meal?
Yes.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. In fact, there's some research that says that peppery foods can increase your metabolism.
Did you hear that?
See, my weight scale told me my metabolic age as a 25-year-old said it was 31 years old.
Oh gosh. Well, that's not too bad. I've seen worse.
Maybe it's because of the other stuff. Maybe we're not eating spicy enough. You know what I mean?
Right. Maybe we
Maybe.
got to increase our spice. Maybe add some
That's what that is. We got to bring it down.
Carolina Reapers to it or something.
Oh god.
Straight peppers.
I can't do that much spice.
I mean, I think mango habanero has a pretty good kick, but still has like enough flavor. It's actually like tastes good. That's why I like mango habanero.
Yeah, I don't like just spice. I like to have at least some.
Yeah, it can't like blow your palate out and then all you taste is just like spice. Like that's not. No. But as long as you're not just going plant-based, then you're fine with the spice.
Oh,
that's good to know.
Yeah.
I guess I'm not going plant-based.
Well, nothing against plant-based, nothing against veganism, anything like that. It's just that I feel like now we're getting into every like era there's a fad, right? Like in the 90s it was like low fat, and then in the early 2000s it was like low sugar, and then it was like ketogenic diet, paleo, which we're still dealing with,
intermittent fasting and all that stuff.
Exactly. Now it's like intermittent fasting and veganism, and everywhere everything is plant-based, and it's driving me crazy. Like I can't even tell you how much it's driving me crazy. Like how fast food places have the Impossible Burger everywhere. It's like, okay, that's great, but it's still a fast food burger. Like you're not doing anything else. Like it's a great alternative for people that don't like to eat meat, but for people that are already eating burgers and they're trying to lose weight and they're like, oh, I'm just going to have this burger instead. It's not a good substitute for people that are trying to eat healthier. Does that make sense?
Yes. Okay. So
That's just something that I want everyone to know. Vegan junk food is still junk food.
Perfect. See?
Yeah, so
that's why we haven't made the change.
You said earlier, you have to be educated, before I can't just go to, KFC and be like, you got the Beyond Chicken now, don't you? So I'm just gonna try that now. But no, it's still deep fried.
Exactly. You can't just have Beyond Chicken for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then you're like, why am I not losing weight? It's like, well, because you're having deep fried soybeans or whatever it is that they make these days. That's another reason why I really am not a fan of vegan food, because I'm like, okay, that looks and tastes great, but what the heck is this? Like, what am I eating? Like, I have no idea what this is. Like, I would like to know what it is that I'm eating. At least when I eat a burger, I know for sure that is a beef. It came from a cow. We're good. I don't know what other engineered stuff they have these days.
Yeah, there's always different perspectives. Mm-hmm. So Destiny, finish this off. I just wanted to ask, what is the number one advice that you would like to tell our audience?
The number one advice that I would like to tell the audience. There's a lot of advice that I could give. There's a lot of nutrition myths that I could smash right now. But what I would say, number one piece of advice, because only 10% of Americans are doing this right now, according to the CDC, is eat your fruits and vegetables. Eat enough fruits and vegetables. I want you to think right now about the last dinner that you had and how many fruits and vegetables it included.
Oh, you said dinner. So you're saying besides what I eat already at breakfast, I should
eat like 6.
No, I'm just using that as a meal example, because normally dinner is where people fall off the wagon on adding fruits and vegetables into their meals. But I think one huge problem why we're in a health crisis in America right now when it comes to nutrition is because people are not eating enough fruits and vegetables. Their fruits and vegetables are being displaced by refined processed carbohydrates like pasta, sugary cereals, bread, all of that stuff. And those things digest really, really quickly in your body. They don't hang out for long, and then they make you want to have a snack an hour later, right? But if we displace some of those things in your diet with fruits and vegetables, not only are you getting more nutrients, you're also getting fiber, which is going to slow down digestion. You're going to feel a lot more satisfied, and you're just going to boost your health a lot more. So I think if we just, instead of taking things out, which is what people want to do with fasting and starving themselves and seeing what is it that I can cut out to get healthy or lose weight, try just adding fruits and vegetables in, and I promise you, your health will improve.
Perfect.
Well,
I
that's
mean, I do
actually
eat
quite
about
interesting.
6 cuties and like during my dinner time.
Oh, I love cuties.
They're so
Oh
good.
my gosh, I
They're so
always
good.
had those in my
Cuties,
backpack when I was in
tortillas, or whatever you
college.
guys want to call them, they're so good.
Amazing.
Little mandarins. But actually, there's another question that kind of reminded me from your last advice. I know myself that I'm a victim of this, but I don't know if it's a myth or not. Uh, Timing of your eating. So, like, I eat dinner really late. Like, sometimes it's like 10, 11 p.m. And then I like go to bed right after that because I gotta have some sleep. So, I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that, don't even get off work till like 10 o'clock. And then they have to eat because you still got to feed your body. Would you recommend, like, is that a good thing or is that a myth? Like, oh, going to sleep right after eating or eating that late is actually bad for your body.
Don't eat past 7, don't eat past 5, stuff like that.
So, what I like to tell people is that your digestive system does not work on shifts. Your body does not absorb your food differently depending on what time of day that you eat. That being said, I try to tell people not to eat within 2 hours of sleeping just because the digestive process that goes on with your body breaking down all that food is a highly metabolic process. It takes a lot of your body's energy, and if you eat right before bed and then you try to sleep, you're going to have issues sleeping and having good sleep. And getting enough sleep is also a really big part of a healthy lifestyle too, right? And also just you'll probably have some indigestion when you wake up. You might be constipated when you wake up just because you're sleeping now and your body's trying to rest, but then at the same time you have all this going on in your stomach. Again, that does not affect how your body stores it. It's not like when you go to sleep it's all going to get stored as fat. Your body doesn't work that way. But if you're a person that gets off late, just eat and wait a little longer before you go to bed. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
But the timing does not affect how your body stores the food. I just want to make that clear.
Perfect.
Yes.
But it would explain why I couldn't sleep last night.
It's weird
There you
because, like,
go.
but see, I mean, I understand like the whole like I'm being tired the next day, but for some reason, sometimes when I do eat a lot, why do I feel super tired?
You're probably eating refined carbohydrates. So, what happens whenever you eat refined carbohydrates? And the graph sort of looks like this. Your blood sugar shoots up, right? And then it stays there for a little bit and then it plummets right back down. All right. So you get what we call a rebound effect. Shazib, you'll know what I'm talking about. So whenever you eat refined carbohydrates, which are carbohydrates that aren't whole grain, they don't have the fiber that your body needs to sort of mitigate that digestion. And so you get this huge blood sugar spike and hyperglycemia, right? So then what happens is you get rebound hypoglycemia, just because that's how physics works, right? Super high has to be combated with a super low. So then you feel even more hungry than you were before, and now you have low blood sugar, so you feel tired. That's why when you have a sugar rush, that's you having the hyperglycemia, and then you feel like you need to take a nap, that's your hypoglycemia doing a sort of a rebound. So what I tell people to combat that is if you want to have refined carbs, that's fine. I'm not going to tell you everything has to be whole grain, but try to have a good amount of protein with it or a good amount of fiber from fruits and vegetables to sort of slow that digestion so that you don't get that rebound effect. And instead of the graph looking like this, your blood sugar is going to look a little more like that. And you'll feel not so crappy after you eat that food.
Gotcha.
So you're basically saying decrease that slope.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, thank you for all your insight because I can tell you I've learned so much from this. Also, I felt like I was called out every time you spoke because I was like, oh, that's what
Yeah,
I
me
do.
too.
I'm I've been doing this for a while, so
I think this
I've
show
sort of
is
know
actually
people's
more for our benefit.
habits.
Yes. Actually, I was wanting a free
Consultation.
dietitian consultation.
That's what we did. It looks like we got one.
There you go. See, you guys tricked me into giving you free advice. Ah, sneaky. That's why you guys are the smart cookies.
Hey, you're smart here because you're educating us. You're educating everyone right now. So again, thank you, Destiny, for joining our podcast today. And again, always a big thank you for our great introduction that you have for us. Uh,
Speaking of that, there is a TikTok that I saw the other day, and I think it was like this guy was talking. He was like, "Can you be a voice model?" And then he gives you like 4 different scenarios, and then he wants you to read it. You should do it. I think it'll be good.
I will actually send that to you. I'll be like,
You know what I'm talking about, right?
You gotta try this.
No, I've never seen it, but I think it will be really fun to try.
It's awesome
Please.
because like I think one of them was supposed to be for like a, I think a clothing commercial, and then
There
the
was
other
like one for
was like
Planet Fitness.
Planet
There was
Fitness.
one for like Humexa, like one of those like, you know,
like
if
please
Humexa
consult
is
your
good for
doctor
you,
before
please
using
consult your doctor.
all that stuff. Like I think it's awesome. So you should try it. I actually want to see it. I think it's cool.
That sounds amazing. That
But
sounds
I don't know. I kind of want to
amazing.
keep her to myself.
But see, look, hey, more opportunities. We're all about making people
Right.
good.
You know,
right?
you networking. So add.
Remember,
You
it's
know,
not
keep
about
on
you,
adding.
man. It's not about you.
It's about everyone.
There you go.
It's about everyone. Exactly. Well, thank you, Destiny, for joining us today. I do appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you,
Thank
Destiny.
you,
I
guys.
appreciate you.
Best of luck to you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, you too.
Well, how was that, Shaw?
I am now legally a fat person, a terrible eater, and yeah, I I definitely need a dietitian. But hey, she helped me out.
See, I don't
There's some
think
questions I knew.
I don't think you're certified fat now or a terrible eater. She just said science shows that peppery foods help speed up your metabolism, which we eat every day.
True.
Which we eat every day. So I think we'll be okay here, right? You don't think so?
Yeah, we'll definitely be okay. But here's the thing, though. Okay, I gotta stop snacking, and I think that's the biggest thing is because I eat, and I guess I'm not eating enough. Like, well, as she said, uh, I'm probably eating too much refined carbs. Um, too much like that's sugary cereals and stuff, and I get hungry really quick.
Mhm.
So that's probably why I snack so much because I'm hungry again. So I definitely need to add fruits and vegetables to my diet. That's for sure.
I mean, I
And
guess that's one
surprisingly in
thing.
dinner.
I mean, I guess that's one thing I can honestly say. Like, I'm proud of. It's like I don't tend to snack, but I do eat a really big meal. So I think that just comes from the background and stuff like that. And like you said, playing a sport, you tend to burn a lot more calories.
Absolutely.
So, man, you should see when I used to play like sports. I would stuff my. I mean, I still do now, but like I think I used to stuff my face way more when I was playing the sport.
Yeah, exactly. When I used to actually play football myself, I remember I ate a lot more, but there was a point in time where I was eating a little less, and yeah, I got way too skinny, and I would come home and just way too fatigued, and then the next practice would be just almost impossible for me. So,
Yeah.
like you said, you got to make sure you have that balance where you're not losing too much uh, weight either. So,
Yeah, and that definitely is true. So I guess like I think one thing, another thing I can take away from basically the show today and what she said is like, losing weight is good and all, but sometimes not all weight loss is good weight loss, right?
exactly, yeah. So, you know, I, she said, like you're losing the wrong weight, you're gonna get fatigued. You could be, even losing. Well, technically, you don't lose muscle, but you get muscle atrophy and everything. And yeah, you want to keep yourself active also while eating healthy as well.
Perfect. Yeah, man. I mean, I did learn a lot, and I mean, now I'm gonna put a little bit of thought in what I put in my body. Except, I mean, after she said Buffalo Wild Wings, I might go today, to be honest.
She did say cheat days are normal and very, very recommended because you don't want to, uh, put yourself through that torture either. You always got to treat yourself. And like you said, 80-20, 80% healthy, 20% whatever want to indulge on. And
Exactly. She
for
said
me,
cheat day, right?
it's
Or cheat days with an S.
she said 20%. So I guess you can, put that whenever
Yeah.
20%, here and there. It's a calculation per person and per
About 3
perspective.
days. Eh,
For me, lately it's been, 80% cheat day and 20% diet.
you see,
But
no, so you're cheating your diet. You get what I'm saying? By eating healthy. So if you look at it way
that's
around, your
actually
actual
a good
diet is
point.
not what you're cheating.
Okay, now I'm just confused. I'm just gonna eat.
But yeah, well, that's another good show. I think we had, another great one. Definitely something a lot of our viewers can learn from. And for you guys out there, if you guys have any questions, I'm pretty sure we can have Destiny come on the show again. And then the next time she does come on, we can hold surveys, see if there's any specific questions you have. You guys can email us or get in contact with us, and we can ask her the next time we have her on.
Absolutely,
About
guys.
that,
And
Shop.
again, I hope everyone enjoyed the show today. We had a great guest today, Destiny Moody. Her contact is in our video. As well, don't forget to follow us on Instagram and tune in next week for our next episode. And I'm your host, Shah.
Now I'm V.
And we're here to remind you that you're not too shabby.
So keep it classy. All right, everybody. We'll catch you later.
Thank you, everyone.